ones and twos. And I just come here to let y'all know it's about to get real filthy in this mother.
Promise. All right, welcome to episode 30 of In Todd We Trust. We have Anna here today. You can access the podcast now on itwtpodcast.com. We can see spoiler-free one-sentence reviews, movie ratings, episode descriptions, song of the week playlist, movie soundtrack playlist, and a submission form to be a guest on the show. You can listen to the podcast on Spotify and Apple Podcasts and watch on YouTube. And the YouTube videos will go up each weekend. The podcast will be available on Spotify and Apple Podcasts every Thursday morning. All right, so we have Anna today. How is life, Anna?
Life is good.
Yeah. Okay. The last time, no. Did we determine the last time I saw you? The last time I saw you was the foul when we went bowling, right?
It could have been.
That was one. No,
or
I saw you at the bar.
At Bakersfield.
Wait,
when
Bakersfield?
me, Suki, a big group of us went there. You showed up, I think.
Yes, that is right. We did go there,
Mm-hmm.
and I also ran into you at a bar after that too. I can't remember what it. Was that Old Shillelagh? Is that the name?
That's potentially where
potentially happened. Yeah.
Yeah.
I feel like it happened, but
yes, it did happen.
Yes.
I know exactly what you're talking about now.
Yes, yeah. Had to go back in the vault. Remember? No, but Anna is one of the top 5 foulers foulers in the game. I have not been in a while either. I need to get back into the swing of things. But for those of you who have not been fouling before, don't live in Michigan, it is a mixture of bowling, football, and kind of like beer pong a little bit. It's an odd thing, but it's a lot of fun. It's super addicting. You want to get good at it. It makes you mad because when you go, you think it's going to be a cakewalk, and then you realize you suck. It's a ton of fun. So this movie is based in NYC, and that's where you went to school.
I did, yes.
Was it cool seeing? So because I know when I reached out to you a week or two ago, about doing the podcast, you said you hadn't even seen the first one prior. Was it cool seeing New York? Obviously, New York City is depicted in tons of movies take place in New York City, but as an animation, was that cool?
It was cool. And there's a part where you can see like Washington Square Park very clear with the arch in the park. And my freshman year, I lived right along the park, so I was like very familiar. But obviously, like the animation was like distorted a little bit, like with the extra tall buildings. But it was really cool, yeah.
Yeah. No. Yeah. The animation did make it seem like crazy, sky high.
A lot greener and colorful and happier than the real New York.
Less murky.
Yeah.
Do you ever miss it?
Yes, it's my favorite city.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Do you think you'll go back at some point?
I hope so.
Yeah.
Yeah.
What is how expensive it is? What one of the things that holds you back?
I think the expense, and I'm pretty much just like an average Joe type person, and I'm kind of okay with that. And I feel like unless I'm comfortable in my savings and my money, and I'm not really like chasing a dream, then right now is not the time. But maybe when I'm more established in my career, I'll move back.
I hear that. Yeah, there's some cities where I'm like, it would be cool to live there, but I would have to be there when like money is not a problem at all. Like it's not like it's a second thought.
Yeah.
At this stage, like, I don't have it cut out to be like a struggling artist type of deal.
Right. Exactly.
Some people do, and some people are fine. Like some people are cool living in like a studio with like 5 people.
Yeah.
And like having 2 cents in their bank account and stuff like that, and they're like, hey, it's worth it because I'm living in New York City and like I'm trying all this like food and experiences. Me, I'm like, nah, it's not worth it for me. So different strokes for different folks. Are you going to Mopop this year?
I'm not.
Random
no.
question. Have you been to Mopop before?
I've never been. No.
Do you like music festivals?
I've only been to one, so.
Okay.
I did.
So no.
I went to. There was a festival. I don't know if it still is going on. It's called the Meadows.
Okay.
And it was in New York City, and I went to their first year mainly to see the 1975. They were like playing there, so.
I have not listened to the 1975, but I have seen a lot about them like in the last 2 months.
Yeah.
I don't know why.
I've seen them like 12 times.
Really?
Yeah.
Is that
maybe more?
Okay, so that's your jam then.
That's my favorite band, yeah. Current favorite band. Like,
current favorite band, yeah.
That's still alive.
Right. Wait, what's your favorite band all time?
I mean, everything. I guess, no, they're my favorite. favorite.
Yeah, okay.
Let's
No, that's
go
fair.
that.
I mean, my favorite band of all time, I've said on the podcast, I think before, is Phoenix. And that's not like a band that is like a classic band all time. It's my favorite. So, I mean, obviously there's like some, like I like Queen, I like the Beatles, but like favorite band is Phoenix.
Yeah. Well, I love Elton John, but he's still alive, so.
He is, yeah. He doesn't count. He can't be your favorite until he's dead, right? No,
well, I saw him in concert a couple months ago, and that was pretty fun.
Yeah, no, I imagine. I mean, the farewell concert. Yeah, I mean, actually, I just reviewed Rocket Man last week.
I get to see it.
You know, I'll let you listen to the review. I'll say that.
I'll listen.
Yeah, I'll just listen to that. But yeah, no, Mopop looks weak this year a little bit. So it's a couple acts on there that I kind of want to see. Like, I want to see Tame Impala, and I want to see Vampire Weekend.
Lizzo.
I want to see Lizzo's coming.
That's what I heard at work today.
Okay.
That she's on the bill, so.
Lizzo's there. I'm not a huge Lizzo fan. I like Lizzo the person. I don't necessarily love her music, but I don't think she makes music for me. So that's fine. And Kali Uchis will be there. I've seen her live, but I kind of do want to go to Mopop for those couple people. But you know,
Impala is where the.
That's the thing. It's like I'd pay the 110, 135, whatever it is for 2 days to if I see Tame Impala.
Yeah.
Vampire Weekend's new album is really. I mean, Vampire Weekend's solid anyway, but their new album is really good. So yeah, song of the week.
Well, okay, you said it didn't have to be, a current song.
Yeah, no,
so
it
I
could be
always start my week off with like Whitney Houston.
Okay.
So
solid.
How Will I Know is my song of the week.
Nice. Okay.
So anything by her is a good Monday song in my book.
Okay.
An upbeat one, not a sad one.
Yeah, no, I hear you. Yeah, no, you can't start off the week sad.
No.
It will set the tone for the rest of the week. No, Whitney's always a good choice. My song of the week is Down Bad by Dreamville. So that's like J. Cole's whole like label. They're all on there. I'm not a huge Cole fan. I do like Cole. I'm not a huge Cole fan. I feel like Cole fans, like he has a cult following where it's like they rock with him, they ride with him, they think he like walks on water. And then you have the rest of us who are like, I don't know. Anyway, this song is fire though. The beat is super hard. Like this is one of those songs I just like kept playing over and over again in the car this past weekend. So that's my song of the week. So now we have random rapid fire, Anna, which is we have a bunch of random questions.
Mm-hmm.
Lucky for you, I only came up with what is it here? I have 6 questions. Usually it's 10, so you're lucky.
Okay, good.
All right, you ready?
Sure.
If you were a pet, what would you be?
A dog.
If you were a wild animal, what would you be?
A cheetah.
Nice. What is your spirit animal?
A cheetah.
That's what I was saying. Cheetah. What would your pet name be?
Probably Billy.
What? That's awesome. Why Billy?
Just like the name.
Yeah, no, that's fair.
Girl.
I do too. I love Billie Eilish.
You do?
Huge fan. That's a large reason why I went to her and Clairo. Actually, there's a lot of people on the bill last year, but Clairo and Billie Eilish, I saw them both live at Mopop last year. I had to contain my excitement though, because it's like me in a sea of like teenage girls. So it was like I can't be the weirdo like that's like going super nuts over Billie, but like I was pretty.
You should have been the weirdo. She's amazing.
Yeah, no, I have a signed vinyl by her. Like I think I've said it on this podcast before. Yeah, I love Billie. Actually, funny story about last year Mopop. Guy pissed me off. So I'm rolling with a crew of people, right? And this one guy's with us, and I've said, been vocal the whole day about how much I love Clairo, hype about Clairo, all this stuff. So we see her set and everything. So, we all go get food, and he kind of dips out and disappears for a little bit. I'm like, yo, where's whatever his name is? I don't even remember his name. I haven't met him that day. So he comes back, and he's like, oh yeah, I was over there. Like I was over there getting a signed vinyl by Clairo. Like she was signing stuff, and he was like, it was awesome. And I was like, looking at him, I was so pissed because I was like, so you knew that?
Yeah. You
knew how much I liked her. You knew that she was signing stuff, and you went and ducked off on your own and did it. He came back and he was like, yo, you should have been there. I wanted to smack him so bad. Like, I almost smacked him and just took his vinyl, even though it was signed to Joe or whoever his name was. I was so mad. But
bad karma.
Yeah, oh yeah, 100%. Yeah, he was already bald, so I think he already had it coming. So
yeah,
he needed a win after that. So yeah, I was a little salty. Anyway, continuing with random rapid fire. What's your go-to slushy flavor? I always ask my guests this.
Oh, I don't really like slushies. Like Mountain Dew or Coke.
Okay.
Like Slurpee style.
Yeah. If you had to rewatch the same movie for the rest of your life, what would it be?
Almost Famous.
Almost Famous. I haven't seen Almost
It's
Famous.
my favorite movie to watch over and over again.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, that's fair. All right. So before we get started, do you ever watch? Are you a huge Netflixer?
I go through like phases.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
So I got really into it in college. Like I hadn't, and my grades reflected it because I didn't discover. Like I obviously knew what it was, but I didn't really get onto it until freshman year of college. Took up all my time. Anyway, there's always these times like there's a ton of good content. There's a ton of content. There's a ton of bad content on Netflix. I hate when I get stuck on a sucky Netflix show that draws me in, and then I feel like I have to finish it.
Yeah.
That's happened. I just finished it last night. It's What If. It is so many points in it where you're like, this is terrible, but it's it draws you in.
Mm-hmm.
Like you want to know how it ends.
Yeah.
So it's one of those like suspense. Like you don't really know how they're gonna carry on like multiple seasons, but it's like I have to figure out how this season ends.
Mm-hmm.
It got me.
What's the premise of that one?
So have you ever seen what is the name of the '90s movie? Have you ever seen Indecent Proposal?
Mm-mm.
It plays on that and then just expounds upon like that idea. But anyway, it is like a billionaire, venture capitalist who invests in this girl who is like came up with like this medical like discovery, and she just like is super manipulative and like takes you to the ringer and all this like super mysterious and all this like backstory stuff. It's not horrible, but it definitely didn't deserve that much of my time.
Mm-hmm.
But I gave it. Also, a warning to not go to Sam's Club. And just don't go, because I have a Sam's Club membership. I have had a Sam's Club membership for several years, but it's dangerous because you end up going there and getting stuff you don't need.
Mm-hmm.
So I actually hid both of these things before you came into my apartment, but I have a 42 box of Gushers and 120 count box of Slim Jims.
Oh, wow.
That's so unnecessary.
Yeah.
Like I don't need 120 Slim Jims. I like Slim Jims. I don't love Slim Jims.
Yeah.
I'll go and get like a pack. I'll get 4. In the checkout line, I might grab 2. Like maybe
Right.
one long one.
Yeah.
I see the 100. I'm like, man, 120. Like, I mean, I do like Slim Jims. Like, it is a deal. I have 120 Slim Jims now.
Good for your heart, you know.
Right. So unnecessary. But yeah. So to anyone out there, just do not go to Sam's Club. It's not worth it. Like the savings aren't worth how much you're going to spend on unnecessary stuff. I was salty though. They did not have what do they call it? The pizza bagels.
Mm-hmm.
Also very healthy
bagel
for you.
bites?
Yeah, bagel bites.
Yeah, those are fire.
Game changers, right? They didn't have them, and I actually had been doing really well on that. Like, I just don't buy unhealthy stuff. That way, I don't eat it. Like, I'm like,
Right.
cool, I just won't put it in the house. But that is nice to have. Like, those nights where you ran out of groceries,
Mm-hmm.
you meal prepped all week. It's Saturday night, you don't have any more food left, and then it's like, okay, cool, I can just go to the freezer and throw those in.
Yeah.
It's nice having those, but they didn't have that, so I was a little upset.
I'll let down. Should have went to Costco.
Should have went to Costco. You know what? I might switch over here soon. I actually might switch over. Usually I go with Sam's because it just closest to my apartment. So maybe I'll switch it up. Also, completely random, but want to bring up. Do you believe there's a such thing as bad texters? Like when people say I'm a bad texter, or is it just they don't care about texting you back specifically?
As a bad texter myself,
Oh no.
probably I've heard both cases, and it probably roots down to it's the person,
It's the
and they're
person.
using that as an excuse.
Yeah.
So I'll admit to that. All bad texters are probably bad people.
Bad people.
Except not really.
Okay.
Bad communicators.
Okay, bad
Deeper
communication.
lying issues.
There we go. Okay, I'll accept that. Do you?
I've gotten better though.
So with people who you like feel like texting, like someone who like you're really close to, or you're dating someone,
Mhm.
are you good about texting them, or even with them you're a bad texter?
Even with them, and I think
Okay.
the secret is to find an equally bad texter, and then there'll be no
So no one's salty.
complaints.
Got it. Are you good? Like, do you prefer the phone or face to face, or are you just like not good at communicating?
I prefer face to face first, then FaceTime, then phone call, then text,
Got it.
then email. Oh, actually, maybe email before text. I'll
So-
probably answer you quicker.
Okay. Are you a reliable person in terms of, and obviously, like, I'm asking these series of questions because these are like things that usually are, usually see there's a trend, there's a pattern. when someone's a bad texter, they're usually like flaky and things like that. Are you a flaky person? Like if we like right now, if we're like, hey, let's go and get like, lunch on Friday, and you're like, cool, yeah, you look at your schedule, yeah, I can do that. Like, are you someone that's like, oh, it gets close, and you're that person like, I text you the morning of, you don't text me back, and then you just don't show up to lunch, or are you pretty much like when you say you're gonna do something, you do it?
I commit. I'll if I say I'll do it, I'll do it. I would just be more upfront in the beginning, being like, I'm very like honest if I don't want to do something,
Okay.
so I'll be like, no, like don't want to do it, just like from the get.
Yeah.
And if they take it as like, I mean, I'm not that blunt, depending on who it is, but usually it's just like no.
Okay. All right, fine. All right, I had to get that off my chest because I had a week. I actually tweeted about it.
Yeah.
Like maybe it was like 2 weeks ago, maybe a week and a half ago. It was one of those days where I like texted a bunch of people and I got no reply. Like it was just a series of days. Actually, it was like for a full week. It was just like, just whatever it was about, hanging out or following up on something or, hey, I saw this funny thing, a meme, I don't know. And it was like mass people who I usually talk to just didn't text me back. And I was like, what is happening? Like something wrong with my phone. Let me restart my phone. Like these people just suck. So
I think you have to tell yourself that the amount of effort it takes to actually send a text is very minimal, if any. So if ever I'm like, I don't want to respond, I'm just like, it literally causes you no effort. Just answer. So I've improved over the years.
Yeah. No, that's fair. Okay. Anyway, getting to the movie, Secret Life of Pets 2. So the IMDb description, continuing the story of Max and his pet friends following their secret lives after their owners leave them for work or school each day. Very broad description there. Came out June 7th. Notable cast, so super loaded cast, which I always think is funny for animated films because it doesn't really matter who's voicing it. Like it doesn't, if they're a big name actor or anything like that, it doesn't matter to their target audience, which is usually children. But anyway, Kevin Hart, Harrison Ford, Eric Stonestreet, Tiffany Haddish, Bobby Moynihan, Dana Carvey, and Hannibal Buress. I just think it's so funny when I hear, and I like hearing like recognizable voices and stuff like that. But I mean, you could have got me to do, the bunny instead of Kevin Hart. And as far as like the film success, it would have been equally as successful. Maybe a little less because obviously he's promoting it and stuff like that. But for the most part, I don't think you miss a beat there. Anyway, director for the movie, Chris Renaud, who also did Despicable Me and Minions. They're all in the same studio, Universal Studios Illumination Pictures, so that doesn't shock me. He also did The Grinch. The Grinch was horrible. The second movie I think I reviewed for this podcast. Brian Lynch was the writer, who also, again, Despicable Me and Minions. He did not do The Grinch, though, but he did do Puss in Boots, which is like one of my favorite animated films. It's super funny. Yeah. You would not expect it. Although, all the Shreks are funny, though. Runtime for this movie is 1 hour and 26 minutes. I've said before that I don't think animated films should go over 90 minutes anyway, for the most part. So they kind of stick to that. The first one was around this length too. So before going into the movie, so I like the first. I enjoyed the first. Did you get a chance to see the first?
I did.
Okay.
Yeah.
Did you like it?
Yes.
So it got mixed reviews and it got really bad reception from a lot of people that I'm friends with. So I've brought it up to a couple different people. And I've had a couple people tell me, like, I didn't like the first. Or, I was a fan. And I was like, really? Like, I thought it was, it wasn't my favorite animated film ever, but I thought it was a pretty good movie.
Right.
So I came into it with that. I came into it thinking, okay, Illumination Studios needs a dub after Grinch. Because the Grinch to me was weak. So I was like, they have to get a dub. So they have to come hard with this one. So yeah, what did you think? Initial thoughts from comparing the first to the second?
Well, I think to enjoy the movie, like if you're an adult, like I'm a dog owner, so I'm biased there. I had a cat growing up, so I also have that. And then I enjoy animation, which a lot of people don't. Like some people just like my sister, she refuses to watch like animated films.
Really?
And then it took place in New York, so a lot of things like going in before watching it, I already enjoy about the movie.
Yep.
And I currently have a pug, and there's a pug in the movie, so like a lot of things going for me. But I enjoyed it. I think if you go in like knowing that it is a children's movie and with an open mind, then you'll enjoy it. But it's definitely not like a critically acclaimed animation, something like a Disney might produce. Right.
Yeah, and I think I agree with that. I do think where they do a really, really, really good job is with the animation. So I'd say, Illumination, not just, this, Despicable Me, even The Grinch, even though I wasn't a huge fan, the animation to me is really, really good. I mean, it's second really only, like, I know the gold standard is Pixar.
Mm-hmm.
Like, Pixar does a really, really great job. I'd say this comes right after.
Yeah.
Like, I'd say even Disney films that aren't Pixar aren't as good as this. As far as the animation, like, they do a really good job. They take a lot of time. The detail, obviously, the city of New York, replicating that in this movie for both of them, I thought was really well done.
Well, I think their animation is really, really good as well. It's the writing I would put like towards the bottom if you were to compare it to the other studios. But if they're doing like the visual like slapstick comedy and like it's for kids, like that's visually appealing and that's definitely their strong suit and kind of sets them apart. So I guess run with that, right?
Exactly, 100%. I definitely agree. I think that with Despicable Me, at least the first two were pretty good. Were really good actually. I think Despicable Me 1 definitely was really good. Minions was good too.
Did not see Minions, so
it's solid. I think it's on Netflix, but I did enjoy Minions. Like I think those are like really funny in that. I think they did a really good job with those. So I think that's definitely like their like top tier as far as what they've done so far.
Yeah.
Going to the theater also, you gotta love the people that come in, 30 minutes late. I had there's someone that came in like in the row before me. It's like 2 ladies and like 8 kids. And I was like, you gotta be kidding me. And they're like asking someone to move out of their seat. I'm sorry, but you can't get salty when someone's in your seat and you came 30 minutes late.
Right.
That's one. 2, I'm almost thinking you shouldn't let people in the theater after a certain time. Like, they're disruptive.
Mm-hmm.
I'm sorry. Like, I know you paid for the ticket, but like, you didn't put a mortgage down. Like, it's a ticket. So if you come 30 minutes after, like, it prevents a lot of things. It prevents, 1, it disrupting the rest of us. Mm-hmm. 2, it prevents people sneaking into movies, which obviously you do, like, in high school. Like, I remember, like, popping into, like, ooh, rated R movie, I'm only 16, like, whatever. Like, what I mean? You, like, pop it. But it prevents that, too, if you have that time limit or, whatever it is, after right after previews or 30 minutes. Like, I mean, it was a solid 30, 35 minutes into the movie they came. I'm like, why even come now? Like,
right.
But yeah, it's funny with this movie, again, the perspective of the animals and some of the things. Obviously, there's some things that you think about being a dog owner. Like, I wonder how my dog is perceiving this.
Yeah.
And there's things that they like play on that I'm like, I never thought about it that way. Like how anxious the dog Max was, and I'm like, I would be super anxious, more so because you're in a apartment the whole day, and then you come out, or even at home, and then you come out, and then you're going out into this world. And you don't know what's going on. Like, obviously as humans, we know what's going on. We can communicate. Mm-hmm. But like as a dog, you don't know what a car is, or all this stuff that just seems dangerous.
Right.
So I would be super scared. So that was funny, and how they made the vet like a mental institution.
Well, that actually exists. Like pet therapist is a real thing.
Really?
It's a real thing.
I did not know that.
Yeah. I feel like you most commonly see it. If someone's gonna have a child, like a baby, they can like take them there and like train them. Like they're not as like how the movie depicted, but there are like people who will diagnose like your pet with like anxiety or something. That's like a real thing.
That is hilarious. I did not know that.
Yeah. So I mean, they definitely upplayed it, but it is a thing. I don't know if it's like dog psychologist. I'm sure you just take it to the vet. But.
Yeah. That actually is pretty funny.
That was a good scene though. I did enjoy that scene.
Yeah, that was like the scene that I didn't. The only thing I knocked them for is the fact that that entire scene is the scene that's in the previews. And like the entire scene. Like, I was like, oh, what else is gonna, and they didn't go any, it was like that scene itself was like an entire preview. But it was cool, it was funny. Again, speaking to like their writing, like they have a lot of like spurts in the writing, like where it's like, funny part, and then it's like, okay, what's this part? Like, again, I think it's good that they keep it at 90 minutes.
Well, I saw a lot of criticism for like the 3 stories co-mingling and then just like coming at the end.
So that was something I know I definitely had. Yeah, that was definitely a note I had that I'll get to in a second. Question: would you rather be a domesticated animal, a zoo animal, or a wild animal?
Domesticated.
Yeah, really?
Probably.
I thought about it because
not a zoo animal for sure.
No, definitely not. A zoo is jail. Like I as much as I like animals and I like going to the zoo, they just piss me off now. Because I just think, it pisses me off because, one, they're, again, like I said, I feel like it's a jail for animals. 2, how it even pisses me off even more that they're like, we're saving animals. No, you're not. I would rather try my luck out in the wilderness and maybe die. You know, maybe I don't live as long. I'd rather do that than be behind these bars. Like, but imagine being, especially like a sea animal. Can you imagine like having the entire ocean at your disposal and then it being like confined to? It doesn't matter how big the tank is. Like I went to like the Georgia Aquarium, huge aquarium. It's amazing. It's massive, right? Even in there, like as big as that tank is, it's not even a percentage of the ocean. So like, imagine how confined you are. Like it's that would suck. Like even with unlimited food, like I'll try my chances out in the wild. But yes, definitely not a zoo. Domesticated animal, you get the right family. A domesticated animal wouldn't be that bad.
That is true. You have to have. I'm thinking of me and like how I treat my own dog.
Yeah.
So like, she's spoiled. So
I mean, you give me.
If I could have my dog's life, I would take her.
Right? Like it's like the only thing with dogs is that they don't live that long. But you know, so maybe I'd be like an elephant in the safari. I don't know, but like, if you let me be like a golden retriever with like an affluent family that has like acres of land. I mean, that's the dream, right?
That's the dream.
Like
the all-American dream.
Right? That's what we all aspire to be, as a golden retriever with an affluent family.
Yeah,
with
with the American flag bandana.
Yeah, right.
And then posing for the 4th of July picture.
Exactly. There was one that lived right next to my home and growing up. Yeah. His name was Duke. Duke, and he had his bandana and
Well, I'm guilty of that. I had a golden retriever growing up.
Really?
So I can criticize. Exactly. I still love Goldens. They're very cute.
Oh, yeah. I mean, they're like the most popular dog by like a landslide in America. Yeah. Also, you know, it was a couple, funny parts in here. But when the cow like started like insulting the dog or whatever, like making fun of the dog, if a farm animal ever insulted me, like, and obviously like this hypothetical would never happen in real life, but if a farm animal ever insulted me, I would just say like, they're eventually gonna eat you. Like I would just end the conversation with that. It's like you know, like they're gonna eat you at some point. That how crazy would that be if growing up on a farm and like I don't know if like you start treating like cows like they're your pets, but like you probably do it. Someone if you're like a kid, you don't know how to differentiate. Like you're just like like you see a cow like grow up, you're like.
I just saw this on the internet. This girl, she had like a pet rooster, and she was like sad it died because she said it acted more like a cat than a dog. So people do get attached, but she's like, thanks for all the eggs. Yeah. Like, so it's like weird. Like live on a farm, you're killing half of them, but some get attached. But I'm sure you do.
Yeah, that would be kind of weird. I thought they had an accurate depiction in here of like small dogs, how like bold they are, like the dog that Tiffany Haddish voiced.
Easy.
Yeah, what kind of dog is that? I can't.
Is it a Shih Tzu?
Yeah,
or I don't know.
It was something. And whatever it was a small dog that was super feisty. And it's funny because that's how small dogs are so bold and don't have like a real good concept of like how small they really are, especially when they're puppies. When they get older, they start getting more aware. Like, okay, I maybe shouldn't mess with the German Shepherd.
Right.
But like my puppy, like my dog that I grew up with, Nala, she's a Pekingese and a poodle mix, and she's all of 7 pounds maybe.
Wow, very tiny.
When now she doesn't, I'm not messing with other dogs. But when at first, she'd go over, it was like, we lived next to like 2 German Shepherds, and she'd go over, they just sit on the porch, and she'd go over, bark in their face, and then as soon as they like stand up, she'd come sprinting back, and then as soon as she was safe, she'd start barking back. She would never do that now.
Right.
But they just don't understand as puppies.
Yeah.
But to go back to your point about this story, so what I had down, and I was thinking, I'm like, what is it about this story that's like pissing me off a little bit about the structure? And it's the fact that it's moving all over the place, right? So I feel like if you're gonna have 3 different storylines, that format only really works in there's those movies that's like New Year's Eve or Valentine's Day or Love Actually, where there's like all these different storylines and they all like converge at the end. Like they're meant for that, and it works better in that way. But with this was almost like a TV show. Yeah. Like a TV show but you have a whole season to kind of develop the characters and kind of bring it all full circle.
Right.
With a movie, and especially a movie that's 90 minutes, it doesn't really work, and it just kind of felt all over the place. Like it didn't feel like cohesive. It just kind of felt like jumbled.
Some of them could have worked better as like the you know how they do the shorts before the feature
yes,
films?
yes.
Like, especially Midget Story with the cats. That was almost
Yeah.
shown exclusively in the preview as well.
Yeah.
Like, I felt like I already saw the whole thing
Yeah.
from the preview, so.
Yeah, I don't know what I don't know why. I feel like they could have just kind of cut that out, and I don't know. I wish, like, even the first one I felt like did a good job at least of it all being in one direction. Like, it was Max and Duke beefing, getting taken, the Gidget and the rest of the pets going to save them. Like,
Some weird hot dog scene.
Weird hot dog scene. Yeah, that's right. Yeah, that was super weird. Weird hot dog scene, but it was all going towards that. Like, it was the same like storyline. Like, they're beefing and everything, and then everyone comes to save them. Like, it was a long. This one was kind of, again, like I said, scattered. It wasn't necessary to be scattered.
Yeah.
Well,
my question is, these are professional writers. They've done the first movie. They've
right.
done other movies. So everyone's like criticizing them, but I wonder if some of it was intentional. Like, is this the way that content is going to be moving towards the future for like small children, like attention span wise? I don't know.
Yeah.
That was just something I was thinking of. I'm like, maybe this is like they thought kids can't keep the focus of a full length movie.
Maybe
That was my only saving grace for the writers in that aspect.
Yeah, I mean, that's a good point though, because I don't know. It could be. It could
Yeah.
be. I mean, like you said, this is what they do professionally. So I mean, you'd have to think that some of the stuff was done intentionally.
Right.
Something that bothered me as I started putting the pieces together, because I am a huge Disney fan. I'm a huge like you. I really love animation. Definitely, animation is by far my favorite content, is for shows and for movies. Has always been that way. Like, I never grew up out of that. But they bit off of Toy Story a lot. And when I started thinking it through, so think about the first movie. You have the new dog come in, who the old dog feels threatened by. That Buzz and Woody. They get taken. You know what I mean? They get taken and go and by the pound or whatever, dog catchers, whatever.
Right.
Same thing as when like Buzz and Woody end up going to Sid's house and they were stuck in Sid's house. Then the rest of the toys or the rest of the pets go to save. Like, it's very similar. And I just was like, wait, they completely bit off of it, but just did a worse job. It's not bad. Like I said, I like Secret Life of Pets.
Right.
But when you start comparing, I'm like, why'd you all do that? And then you come with this one, and it's kind of similar to Toy Story 2. Like, you know what I mean? You have like this new, Andy had a sister. So this one, boom, you have a kid now in the house that you have to account for. And, you go on this adventure now that's, far expanding from your home or whatever. They took a lot from it. I definitely think they took a lot from it. And also the whole premise of, see what your pets are doing when the owner's not around, see what the toys are doing when the owner's not around. They're talking to each other. It's just, when the owner comes back, you're to be back in the house. Like, it's just a lot of that type of stuff.
Yeah.
But yeah, so I thought that was kind of like they could have been a little bit more discreet with the parallels.
Stealing.
Yeah, like come on, you're gonna steal it. Like,
Yeah.
I don't know. I mean, maybe again, that's my brain and how I made the comparison. But I'm sure they're making a ton of money off the movies.
Yep.
They're probably pretty successful. I know that at least that franchise, like the Illumination Studios, is doing pretty good. I know Despicable Me has been pretty successful. So
Well, the amount that I think was impressive about them is the amount that they come out with movies, especially animated movies, take years and years, and they are like pushing out I think it was like 11 in the last 10 years. I don't know the facts.
Yeah.
And then they make them under budget. Like, they don't cost that much to make comparative to like a Disney movie. I mean, still billions of dollars. But then they throw so much into their marketing, and they kind of like shove the marketing. So like their marketing teams are like crazy. So
I didn't know that. That's good. That's good insight to have. I didn't know that, and it actually makes me think about something that I was thinking about in regards to work, even in just marketing and in general. But and obviously, like you have a background in some marketing stuff and advertising, and that's what I do. But you have a good sense of it. I mean, you're not like you're aware of it, and you're not completely ignorant to how marketing works for companies and stuff, for sure. So to that point, I think that some companies, let me go back. I think that I've been thinking a lot about if it makes more sense to have a great product that's marketed poorly or an okay or bad product that's marketed great. and seeing like which one is more successful. And
I'll do some A/B testing on that.
Yeah, and I feel like without actually going and looking at the numbers, I'd guess just from thinking of a few examples that an okay product that's marketed amazingly is the best. Ends up doing the best as far as numbers and stuff like that. Now, obviously, perfect world, great product, great marketing, right? Mm-hmm. So it's like an Apple, like, you know what I mean? They're great product and they are at the, you know, comparatively to like Microsoft and stuff, they have better marketing too.
Yeah.
But, you know, then you have stuff, you know, places like, like Planet Fitness, where it's like, is it the best gym? Like, probably not. Like, they don't even have free weights. They don't have, you know, they're not always the cleanest gyms. They don't always have the best customer service, but it's really cheap product and it's everywhere. Like on Instagram, you know, everyone has heard of Planet Fitness. Everyone knows Planet Fitness colors. Like, it's, you know, no judgment free. They have pizza on Mondays. Like, it's purple everywhere.
Pizza Monday?
They have pizza Monday. First Monday of the month, I think.
Counterintuitive.
Right. But they know who they're marketing to.
Right.
And it works, so they're really successful. So yeah, so it works. You know what I mean? So it's, you know, it's like, is it, you know, what's more important? You know, right? So I mean, obviously, I didn't even bring in price, but yeah, that's, you know, that's a huge thing with them too. So
yeah.
So it's just interesting to think about. How do you like the characters in the movie? Like, as far as like the characters and the, like, who's your favorite character and even the actor and the voices?
So the standout for me in the second one was Rooster.
Yeah.
For sure, because it was definitely the best character.
He was cool. Yeah.
Yeah, Harrison Ford is like, he should take up more voice acting because like that was a perfect character for him to play.
It was.
And then Kevin Hart is incredible as a voice actor as well. They all were really good. So Snowball's up there with like probably everyone else.
Yeah.
Like his character is just so funny. And then probably so the first movie probably Kevin Hart with Snowball, and then the second one I'll do Harrison Ford with Rooster.
So Kevin Hart, I'm actually just about to say the exact opposite with Kevin Hart, because I love Kevin Hart.
Yeah.
But the bunny voice doesn't work for me.
No.
It doesn't. I don't know what it is. It's so I think it's the lines. As I was watching the second one, I was like, what is it that I'm not feeling? The lines don't feel right for him. Like, I almost think you either get someone else to do the character or let Kevin Hart improv more. Like, let him be funny. And I think he can be PG funny.
Yeah.
Like, obviously, his stand-up and stuff is not PG, but I think he is funny enough, and his style of humor is in line for him to be a PG character, and let him improv or, like, write some of the lines.
Yeah.
Because the lines didn't feel like him. It just felt like kind of whack lines, but his voice.
Right.
And, like him being, like, super eccentric and stuff like that. So
I mean, it was definitely awkward, but I think it made it, like, more funny.
Maybe,
it didn't really fit. It was, like, just so bizarre.
It is,
and, like, the character was bizarre, and, like, the whole thing was just weird, so I was probably like, okay.
Yeah. It, you know, it felt, his character, it was better suited in the first one, I do think.
Yeah,
like when he's like kind of like a crackpot type of, you know, animal, like that was very, him as like a domesticated animal, like he almost has to be like this, like super quirky, I mean, animal, I don't know.
Yeah, failed in the second for me a little bit as well.
Tiffany Haddish I thought fit perfectly.
Yeah, the dog was so cute, dude.
Yeah, she was, and like her voice like fit perfectly with that type of dog, the attitude, like everything fit. I thought perfectly with that. My favorite character in the movie, I did like Harrison Ford's dog, but Pops, the super old dog, like senile dog.
Yeah.
He is hilarious. And he had his school for puppies.
That was
that was the best part of the movie for me. Like his school of puppies was. It was. I was cracking. I started laughing, and I had to like look around to like see it. Like I didn't want someone to see me like getting weak at this like kids movie, but it was funny. Also, the sheep.
When he
Cotton. I would let Cotton die.
You would have let him die?
Yeah, I would have.
You would have gone and saved him?
No, that would have been an L for Cotton. I'm sorry. Like I'm sorry. You win some, you lose some. Like.
No, I would have saved him.
You would have saved him?
Yeah.
Are you a daredevil, or are you just like a hero?
I'm a daredevil.
Okay, all right.
Yeah, no, I want to go hero. But yeah, I'll do anything like one.
Okay. See, I'm like super cautious.
No.
And I don't like heights, so like that would have just been. I would have been. I'm sorry. Like we lost one today. Like that's what we just lost.
So what do you think of Harrison Ford's message of like, you know, because I think what a lot of parents were taking away from the film was like, do you let your kid climb the tree and fall, or do you like not let them climb at all and like protect them? Because I think that's kind of what they were like aiming at. At least that's what I got out of it.
Yeah, I agree. Out of all the clutter of messages, I do think I do agree that was the main message here.
Oh, that little piece of the story.
Yeah,
of,
right.
Like the Harrison Ford or the Rooster story.
Yeah, I mean, I think, even at the end when you see, like, Max, trying to protect them, like, it kind of came full circle as far as, like, being brave and telling yourself you're not scared, and that's, like, the first step of being, being brave, all that stuff. But yes, I do agree that, to an extent, obviously, like, obviously the parent, it seemed to be, like, super, like, when, at the first part of the movie when, like, Max is trying to protect him, it seemed like the parent was being a little careless, like, okay, why is that baby not have, like, why are you not holding it tan and you're out in New York City? But,
I just think it was more of, like, a commentary on it, like, of, like, how, parents and children are today. Like, we're so, like, hyper aware of, like, like, my parents used to, like, run around the neighborhoods in the summer playing baseball, like, just show up for dinner, but now, it's so much structured because it's so much more dangerous and whatever, so. And
I actually, I actually don't believe it's more dangerous. Like, you hear parents say, like, my parents say too, like, it's crazy now, and I'm like, I don't know if it's crazier that we have access to more information.
Yeah,
so, when, went back in forever, I mean, not forever, make them sound like super old, in the 70s.
Yeah.
If there was a kid that got kidnapped in Austin, Texas, my dad wouldn't hear about it in Cincinnati, Ohio. That wasn't on the news. And then, like, national news wasn't at that level. You know what I mean? So you wouldn't see it you wouldn't hear it on social media. So it's not that it wasn't happening. Matter of fact, it was happening more because they could get away with it more. We didn't have the technology to, like, track stuff. And also, there were, like, mass murderers back then. Like, when's the last time you heard of a serial killer? Yeah.
Right.
Like, Ted Bundy was just going around killing girls in sorority houses in Florida State. Like, that doesn't happen now. And I'm not saying there's no murders ever. Obviously, that happens. But, like, it was happening at, like, a crazy rate. Like, in the 70s and 80s, like, serial killers were all... I mean, it took them years to find these guys. It doesn't happen now. So, for the comment that it's crazy now or it was safer back then, it was like, no, you just weren't aware back then. So, ignorance was bliss. So, you just kind of... You went around. So, now we're just aware, so now we're scared. That's what I believe. I still think that it's smart to be cautious. Like, I mean, I'm not letting my 12-year-old, drive, bike with his friends 30 miles away from the house during the summer. I'm probably not going to do that. But I do think that you kind of let them live. You don't want the super, like, crazy sheltered kid.
Yeah.
Be cautious, be aware. But I'm almost more concerned with like shielding them from, like, crazy stuff on the internet. Honestly, more than, like, climbing up a tree and falling.
Right.
You know what I mean? Like, it's more crazy information that way than it is, just kind of going out in the world a bit. So that's my opinion.
And that's a whole world, like, about the stuff on the internet, like the kids and the YouTube, what they can find. So that could be like a 3-hour long conversation.
100%. Yeah, I think what kids can find on the internet is way more dangerous than maybe. Again, like you said, letting them get a couple scratches going outside and playing.
Yeah.
But that's, I'm not a parent yet, so who knows? Ask me in a couple of years and several years, and maybe
Ask me never.
Ask me never yet. Never having kids. Also, the tiger was useless. He was freaking useless.
Cute, but
like he was by far the most dangerous animal in the movie, and he was like the completely useless.
Well, what was the villain's name? I'm not sure, but it was like a rip-off of, like, Despicable Me. Like,
yeah, he did. Yeah,
he looked so much like him.
He definitely did look like him, like the nose and everything. Yeah.
Maybe their brothers were, like,
right.
a little, like, Easter egg in there for, like, the fans.
I don't know. Yeah, I don't know. I didn't know what they were doing. Like I said, the animation was dope. I did want to see the old dog. I was hyped to see the old dog because as the movie was going on, I didn't see him, and I was like, if they don't show Pops, I'm gonna be pissed.
Yeah.
Also, when the villain was, like, getting beaten up and he pulled a gun, can you imagine pulling a gun on a rabbit? Like what? That part I was like, what?
That's what makes animation, like, so great, though.
It's
you
awesome.
Can do, like, crazy stuff like that.
Yeah, you pulled a pistol on a rabbit. I was like, this is amazing. But overall, I felt like the story wasn't super structured. Like I said, Kevin Hart, he kind of got on my nerves a bit with the bunny, but I do like Kevin Hart. I did think it was entertaining though. Overall, I thought it was entertaining. I thought it had funny parts, and I thought 90 minutes was appropriate time. And again, considering I always go into a movie considering the audience and who they're trying to make the movie for. So it's obviously for kids, families. That's mostly who's in the theater, understandably so. Also, I went on Father's Day to see the movie. So I thought they did a good job there.
Yeah,
like it was captivating. I would, imagining being a kid. I think like all the kids in the theater seemed to be super excited. They were all talking and screaming the whole time. But yeah, I thought it was a good film.
Yeah.
Overall, I appreciate they didn't drag it out. I don't think that, like I said, I don't think animated films should exceed 90 minutes too often. And I expect a third. I say that they're probably gonna do a third.
I would say so. Probably.
Would you go see a third?
Yeah, I'd see a third.
Yeah.
I'd probably wait till it's on like TV or Netflix or maybe watch at home. I don't know if I would spend the money to see it in a theater unless I was with like a young niece or. You're right.
I agree. I say if you're gonna take if you're taking a nephew, niece, cousin, if you have kids, $5 Tuesday would be appropriate.
Yeah. Go
to $5 Tuesday. You don't have to go opening night. It's not like a must you have to see when it first comes out. Like Toy Story 4 this week, I'm going to the very first showing I can. I actually need to buy my ticket after this, so I'm glad you said that. But this, I wouldn't say that. Overall, what would you give it at a 1 out of 10? Or score from 1 to 10, sorry.
I'm going to give it 4.
Whoa, that's low.
Is it low?
Yeah, it's pretty
5.
low. No, I mean, you have to change
4 or 5.
Okay, 4 or 5. So not your favorite film.
Overall, I'll give it a 5.
Yeah, because the writing. I give it a 6.5, and part of that is because of animation. I just am like, I was super impressed with the animation, but yeah, it was alright. It was okay. Yeah. It was cool. It was a cool film. I thought they did a good job for who they were targeting. But I mean, the writing, they got a little lazy there. They had the C team on the writing this time. It wasn't the D team with the Grinch. It wasn't, that was the F team. This was C team though. This was C team.
Yeah. I mean, the animators were incredible, so like shout out to them.
Shout out to them. Yeah. They killed it. If I was the animators, I would probably be a little salty at the writer. Like, come on guys, don't waste my animation. But they didn't do a bad job. So, movies that you're excited for coming out.
The movie I think I'm looking forward to the most this summer is Once Upon a Time in Hollywood.
That looks good.
Quentin Tarantino.
I'm pumped up for that.
That's probably the number one, and then Lion King, obviously, I'm very excited for.
Yep.
And then I forgot the name, but it's with Awkwafina. She's like.
What is she in?
She's gonna be the leading role. It's like her first leading role.
What is going on? I'm
excited. She like goes and visits her like grandmother who like thinks she's dying, but they like don't tell. Oh, she is dying, but they don't tell her, and they tell her it's for a wedding. It looks really good.
Wow. Okay, I didn't.
It's getting good reviews at like the festival scene. So.
Okay.
That's on my list.
You know what? It's on what's something that's on my list. For that I just want to do like in the next couple of years, and I was actually thinking about doing it this year, but just didn't do it. Sundance Festival. I want to go like get tickets to go out there. I think it's in Denver.
It's in Utah.
Oh, Utah. Okay, got it.
I think.
No, you're probably right. Have you ever been?
No.
I
I've had friends who've gone, but I've never gone. No.
Yeah, I definitely want to go. That seems like something like really cool. It would make me feel cool. That's more than anything. Like to be like, oh yeah, I went to Sundance. Like,
yeah, or you can go to Tribeca Film Festival.
That's true.
Go to Cannes Film Festival.
I go overseas. Yeah. I did look at Cannes. You know what, Toronto would actually. I should start with that since it's a drive.
They're very like attainable like things to go to. You can just buy the tickets to the screening. Because I went to some like when I lived in New York, I would just go see some of the Tribeca film ones that were playing there, and you just. It's like going to the movies, just buy the ticket and go see. Sometimes the directors are there before and after for Q&A. Like, I wasn't going to any of the exclusives.
Right.
Just like the general population.
Gotcha. Okay, yeah. No, I was looking at tickets. Not bad. I mean, obviously, if you want to get like the full access, like now you're paying a pretty penny. But
exactly.
But yeah, no, you're right. I should actually look at. I didn't even think about Toronto.
You should try to get like a press pass.
And that's the thing is like I was like, for mine for the podcast, maybe I'll do a live podcast there.
Yeah.
If that would be if I made it. Like I know I made it when I can at least just go see like free movies. Mm-hmm. But I don't need to be famous. Just like if I can see free movies off of this, I made it.
Yeah.
I'm looking forward to, and this is a off-brand one for me, Midsummer, which is a horror film. And I don't like horror films. It's about a couple that they go on vacation and they get basically like trapped by this pagan cult. I likely will never watch it. This sounds fun. Upcoming movies I'm excited for but won't watch.
Yeah.
But cult stuff always intrigues me. Like, it's always super interesting to me, like, the thought process of, like, convincing a group of people to do something that, you know, just seems so irrational. So that's always super intriguing to me. But again, I'm too fearful to watch it, so I probably will never watch it. I'll probably just look up the like description of it and see what happens in the end. But that it does look interesting.
You should watch it.
Yeah, no, I probably won't watch it. But yeah, so excited for someone else to go see it this summer. But that's all I had. Did you have anything else, Anna?
No, that's it.
No, all right. All right. Well, thank you all for listening. Thank you, Anna, for coming up here.
Yeah, thank you for having me on.
Oh, absolutely. We're gonna have to have you again. Have you again sometime. All right. Thanks, everyone. Peace.